Hello, welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. Senator Ana Mayor Miguel Pulido has spent the last 4 years as the Energy Chair at the U.S. Conference of Mayors. He's with us now to talk a little bit about what's been going on in that position, what he's learned, what he's been talking about with other mayors over the past 4 years. Welcome.
Thank you. I've learned a lot. I've learned that mayors in cities across America are working on very innovative projects that are making a difference. For example, in cities like Little Rock, Arkansas, they have natural gas filling stations that they're supporting, through local tax dollars. Mm-hmm. And it's making a difference because here in California, we have more than in other parts of the country, but now there's networks that are beginning to develop. Here, for example, talking about natural gas for a moment, there are more and more vehicles, there are more and more fleets that are converting using natural gas as a fuel versus gasoline or diesel.
It's implementing these things, though, making it accessible to a lot of people and keeping the costs. Right now, natural gas is cheaper than gas, so it's attractive, but
it is cheaper, and that's why we have folks like Waste Management that now have over 1,000 vehicles that they've converted to natural gas. Mm-hmm. But it's taking government, being a leader in trying to push some of these technologies. And now some are ahead of others, but the big one that I think is right on the horizon is solar. Mm-hmm. As you look at the dollars per watt of what it takes to install systems, they now are around $1 per watt. Now, to put that in context, a few years ago, they were over $10 a watt. And it's been slowly coming down such that right now there are areas here across the U.S. where it's cheaper to have solar than not. For example, in Hawaii, it's about 65 cents a kilowatt hour to have conventional fuel. It's about 25 cents to have solar. And what I'm really trying to make happen is that here in California, because we can be an international leader, that we work as cities and as a state and work together to try to really emulate what others have done.
Okay, where do you see the real movement starting to happen in terms of this? People building their homes out of solar materials on the sides of the houses, on the tops of the house, or energy generating plants that are based on solar?
I see both. Mm-hmm. I would use Germany right now as an example. Mm-hmm. In 1 year, they set a buy-in tariff, which means that if you have a solar system and you make extra electricity, the utility is going to buy that extra electricity from you. We don't have that here yet. If the PUC were to work together with the utilities and others to make that happen, I think it'll follow suit along the lines in Germany. There, in 1 year, they've installed about 9,000 megawatts of electricity. That's 9 gigawatts. Here we have about 1. So Germany's comparable to California. They can't be outdoing as 9 to 1. They have less sun. It's colder. Their whole situation is inferior to ours.
It's the technology sometimes. I mean, the federal government has poured so much money into solar companies and lost it all. So it's bridging that gap. So how do you do that?
Well, I don't know if they've lost it all.
Well, but in a couple companies they lost
companies they lost money. But if you look at the international market right now, mm-hmm. It's not only getting stronger, but others have entered that market, like the Chinese, and that's why the components are coming down. So what we can do as cities, we can, for example, we've waived any fees for anybody that wants to put solar on their home or on their business. Mm-hmm. There's no permitting fees. Mm-hmm. We're encouraging the utility to work with folks and have incentives. But the big one would be a buy-in tariff, a tariff that if you make extra electricity, you're going to be paid for it at a fair price.
And the movement is on.
It needs to be on because it can make a big difference in terms of jobs, in terms of our economy, in terms of our collective future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ana Mayor Miguel Pulido for being here, and thank you for joining us.